doubles court is 6.1 metres wide and 13.4 metres long. The service box runs up to the inside back service lines and includes the wide trap lines. The length of the singles court remains the same, but the width is reduced to 5.18 metres. The service box is narrower than the doubles, but is extended in length to the back service line. In both singles and doubles, the height of the net is the same, standing at 1.52 metres. Matches the best of 3 games, each played to 21 points. If scores are level at 20 points each, then the first player or pair to gain a 2-point advantage wins the game. If scores are level at 29 points each, then the next game wins. Each rally begins with an underarm serve hit below waist level to the receiver standing diagonally opposite. Unlike tennis, service passes to the opposition every time you lose a point. Welcome to Dubai, the most populous city in the United Arab Emirates. It's also a city that manages to combine ancient traditions with spectacular modern architecture, a city that combines work with play. And for a third consecutive year, it's playing host to badminton's end-of-season championships, the BWF Destination Dubai World Super Series Finals. Well, we've already had 3 days of competition, and what a 3 days it's been. The best badminton players in the world playing some of the best badminton matches I've seen all year. We've got the Olympic champions in the women's doubles, the defending champions, the married couple, Chris and Gabby Adcock, in the mixed doubles. We've got the Dane, the first European to be #1 at the end of the year on the Super Series standings. He's in semi-finals. So too is the new world #1 and former champion Tai Tzu-Ying in the women's singles. But Sun Yu of China has been in tremendous form. She hasn't dropped a match all tournament so far. Well, this event is the culmination of 12 tournaments on the BWF World Super Series, and it was just the points gained from those 12 Super Series that have counted towards qualification here. So we have 5 disciplines: men's and women's singles, men's and women's doubles and mixed doubles as well, and 62 of the world's very best players from 13 different countries here in Dubai, all competing for that $1 million prize fund. Well, as far as the tournament format is concerned, those 8 players or pairs in each of the 5 disciplines were divided into 2 groups of 4. Over the last 3 days, everybody played everyone else within their group, and it's just the top 2 from each of those groups who have qualified for today's semi-final knockout stage. Finals, of course, tomorrow, Sunday, all 5 finals. Well, semi-finals day today, and what a lineup we've got. We're starting with women's doubles and a repeat of the Olympic final. The gold medalists Matsutomo and Takahashi up against the 3-time European champions and obviously Olympic silver medalists Juhl and Pedersen. Then we've got men's singles and the left-handed Tian Hao Wei, the All-England finalist, up against that man who I said became world #1 on the Super Series standings, the World Championship bronze medalist, Jano Jorgensen from Denmark. Then we've got women's doubles and 2 of the 3 pairs who won a maiden Super Series title this year. We've got the winners from China, Zhang Yena and Lee So-hee of Korea, against the 2-time former World Junior Champions and winners of the French Super Series, Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan. Then we've got mixed doubles, and it's a repeat of last year's semi-final. Praveen Jordan and Debbie Susanto have since won the All England Championships. They're up against the defending champions, Chris and Gabby Adcock. Then we finished this morning's session with women's singles and the new world #1, Tai Su Ying, winner of this title in 2014. She's up against Sun Yu, who, as I was saying, has been in tremendous form. She won Group B, and that was a very tough group indeed. Well, I'm Juhl Clark, delighted to say that sitting alongside me once again is Steen Pedersen, former head coach to the Danish national team. And Steen, what a match for us to start with, a repeat of the Olympic final.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Very, very interesting match we start out with. And we've even got another women's double coming up later on with very, very exciting player, in my opinion, Chen Qingcheng of China, who was awarded the Most Promising Player Award prior to this tournament.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, Pedersen and Chen Qingcheng both in 2 semi-finals. Well, let's get on with the first of our semi-finals. It's women's doubles. Let's join our Master of Ceremonies, Howard Bentham.
This is the Dubai World Super Series Finals Women's Doubles Semi-Final. Let's welcome the players. First up, from Japan, the Olympic champions and #1 seeds, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi.
The Olympic champions, the #1 seeds, the world #1s and the former champions, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi, won the title here 2 years ago, beating the then Olympic champions Tiang Qing and Zhao Yunlei in that final.
And let's hear it for their opponents, the Olympic silver medalists and #2 seeds from Denmark, Kamilla, Rytter, Juhl and Christinna Pedersen.
The Danish combination, the #2 seeds, Christinna Pedersen and Kamilla Rytter, Juhl, looking very relaxed as they waited to come on to centre stage. They've already been in 3 finals at the Super Series finals as a women's doubles combination. They won the title 3 years ago. They were beaten finalists in 2012 and again last year as well. So the #1 and the #2 seeds do battle in the semi-final.
Christinna, black or green?
Green call. New Zealand is our umpire for this one.
Green, your choice.
The toss of the coin. And I can't understand why any player would not choose ends. There's always a slight difference in ends. In any big arena, the natural air currents will very, very slightly move the shuttle. And we'll talk more later about the drift, but it's very nearly perfect conditions. So here is Ayaka Takahashi, the 26-year-old from Kashihara in Nara Prefecture, south of Honshu, the main island of Honshu. They are the world #1s, and they finished this year as world #1s on the Super Series standings as well. A first pair in women's doubles history to end the year 3 times as #1 on the Super Series standings. Matsutomo, a couple of years younger, as you can see, at just 24 from Tokushima. And they have been in great form because they've won all of their matches. In Wednesday's match, they beat the World Championship bronze medalists, Fukuman and Yonao. Thursday, they beat the defending champions, the identical twin sisters, Liu Ying and Liu Yu. And yesterday, they beat the number 4 seeds, Chang Yena and Lee So-hee. So that's an indication that they really are playing well. Christinna Pedersen, well, she's already been in 6 finals at the Super Series finals. She's won 4 titles because she's won 3 mixed doubles and 1 women's doubles with her partner as of today. 30 years of age from Aalborg in North Jutland. They are the world number 2s, enjoying their 54th week in total as world number 2s. The tall Kamilla Juhl, that's just over 6 foot tall, from Skagen, right in the north of North Jutland. Now, she's actually been in 5 finals. She's been in 4 women's doubles final because she reached the final in 2009 with Lina Freya Christiansen. Well, they've lost one of their matches, and they lost to the former world junior champions, Chen Qingcheng and Xia Yifan, in 3 games on Thursday. Yesterday, against the Olympic bronze medalists, the Olympic silver medalists, as the Danes are, had to win that match to qualify for the semi-final stage. My goodness, wasn't it a battle? An hour and 9 minutes before they came through 21-16 in the decider. And I can tell you, Danish fans were a little bit worried after they had dropped that second game to just 9 points. Well, this is the 14th meeting between the 2 pairs, and of the previous 13, well, it is the Japanese pair who have the advantage, but the last time they played was in the final of the Japan Super Series, and it was the Danes that won in 3 games. An hour and 15 minutes, winning through 21-12 in the deciding game, and to beat the Olympic champions in a repeat of that Olympic final in the very next tournament that the 2 pairs met, I thought was very impressive indeed by the Danish combination.
Yeah, they must be really happy about that. We saw Sindhu in women's singles accomplish the same thing yesterday, but I also think the Danish pair is a little bit sorry that this tournament is not played in Japan, because all the 3 times that these 2 pairs have met in Japan, they have beaten the Japanese pair. So that's a little bit extraordinary.
So Trish Gubb from New Zealand, our umpire, and Rohanna De Silva from Sri Lanka, our service judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Takahashi Ayaka, Matsutomo, Misaki, Japan. And on my left, Kamilla Rytter, Christinna Pedersen, Denmark. Christinna Pedersen to serve to Takahashi Ayaka. Love all. Play.
Well, the Olympic champions, Matsutomo and Takahashi, the only pair left in the tournament where you've got 2 right-handers. As far as women's doubles is concerned, a left and right-hander. In fact, we started the tournament with 4 left and right-handed combinations, and that's very extraordinary. We were trying to figure out if that had ever happened at Super Series before. We couldn't think of any previous occasion. Oh, that's a good smash. Much flatter. Aimed towards the right shoulder of Matsutomo. Oh, good defense. Oh, that's landed in. Now,
Service over.
Steen, obviously you know the Danish players extremely well, and I would have thought that there'll be a fair amount of trying to keep Matsutomo away from the front court area and a lot of variation in pace. Do you think that's the sort of tactics they'll try and employ?
Yeah, I think definitely the Matsutomo thing to take her out of the game if they can. Now we see her here. She's lethal on the front court, and varying the pace also seems like a very, very good plan. And especially when they attack, when the Danes attack, if they don't get into a better position from shot to shot, then they might even sort of choose to go in the defense whilst they're in good position. Good drop shot.
4-1. Service over. Two.
Takahashi.
4.
Oh, of the two Japanese players, I would have thought that Matsutomo is the one that we've noticed recently has been employing the flick serve quite a lot and perhaps lost a little bit of confidence on the low serve.
Yeah, and I would try to exploit that if I were the Danish pair by being very, very focused on punishing the short services from Matsutomo, and if she's flicking, okay, then just clear or drop it. Don't get yourself into a bad position.
Rally. Oh my goodness, they both went for it.
Good shot.
Oh.
Excellent play by Christinna Pedersen.
4.
Yeah, it wasn't just the defensive shot, it was the follow-up as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. That punch clear there to Matsutomo, who we know is seeking the front court, is hunting the chances there. So she might be a lot more focused on opportunities on the front court. So a punch clear for her, that's really efficient.
Yes, and by the reaction of Danish coach Jonassen, I think that's something they've discussed.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's gone wide.
Service over. 5.
Now, we were talking about the drift in the arena a little earlier on in the week, and we figured out that there's possibly a sideways drift from left to right as we all look down on the court. And you reckon there's a little bit of a lengthways drift as well, Steen?
Yes, I think so. Coming from the Danes towards the Japanese pair. But it's not a lot. I talked to Kenneth Jonassen a couple of days ago, and he says it's not a lot, and it's actually really, really good playing conditions.
Oh, clever. Oh, yes. Yeah. There she is. Right place at the right time. Once again, Misaki Matsutomo.
6-4.
Longest rally of the match so far. I wouldn't mind betting. Yeah, indeed.
And that's exactly those type of rallies we'll see when the playing conditions are good. In my opinion, it benefits the Japanese pair a little bit. The Danes, they like to play when there's a long side drift. They have the firepower to kill it, and the opponents have a tough time getting the correct accuracy on their defense.
Oh, that's Beautiful drop again.
Excellent.
Yeah, Ayaka Takahashi.
7-4.
This Japanese pair won the Female Players of the Year at the BWF Gala dinner on Monday night earlier in the week, and thoroughly deserved, I think.
Yeah, and amongst others, beating Christinna Pedersen, Kamilla Juhl for the title, and I think actually it was 2 points at a certain match in Rio that decided who was going to win that title, or both titles.
Yeah.
Service over.
First one.
5.
What were the Danes up?
7.
1916.
1916.
Up in the third in that Olympic final.
And then Matsutomo kicked it a gear up, and with, of course, very, very good help from her partner. But she was the one taking the chances, risking it all when they were about to lose, and turned it around.
Oh, yes. Oh, she's human after all.
Yeah.
6, 7.
Third consecutive semi-final here at the Super Series finals in Dubai. Third year it's staged at this venue for Matsutomo and Takahashi. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. That's clever, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the corner where it's most difficult to play it either long or wide. So that's the most safe corner on the court.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's more or less a similar end to the rally like the one we had
9.
2 rallies ago. And
6.
if there's rallies like this all the time, then the Japanese pair will win it, because even though we saw Matsutomo make a mistake at the net 2 rallies ago, I mean, she won't keep on making mistakes, those shots. So.
Oh, brilliant. Where on earth did that come from?
That was a good shot.
10.
And
Yeah.
we discussed it earlier, and also this week, that, I mean, it's not enough to have just one creative player on court. You've got to be able to function in your non-preferred role. And Ayaka Takahashi, who's serving here, is in this combination the preferred backcourt player, but she can play on the front court as well.
Yeah.
11-6.
Well,
interval.
They have a 5-point advantage, the Olympic gold medalists, at the mid-game interval against the Olympic silver medalists. 10 minutes of play to get to this mid-game interval.
Bare lige for at finde. Og så hvis de ligger helt ned med perfekt længde, så tilbage lige en enkelt gang. Vi skal lige have åbnet dem en lille smule mere.
Ja.
Så det der med at stressløft, det må vi gerne gøre på vores anden løft, men hvis vi er fanget på den første, så skal vi stadigvæk lige give os selv, for ellers så ligger de det der klamme pres på den første.
20 seconds.
Ja.
Okay?
20 seconds.
Ja. Men hoppet med.
Thank you, coach.
Okay? Hvis vi ikke er i den perfekte angreb.
Ja. Så.
Well, don't forget, you can keep right up to date with all that's happening from the Super Series
11-6.
finals on #BadmintonDubai.
Play.
So what was the Danish advice there?
Yeah, that was to try and make the court big, get clears and drops into their game. We saw some brief examples on it punch clear from Christinna Pedersen that was very efficient. These clears here, they don't count because it's Matsutomo who directs the rally and finishes with a fantastic drop shot there as well. So it's when the Danes are on the attack, that's where they can mix it up with clears and drop shots. There was a lot of emphasis on variation, and they also wanted Kenneth Johansson wanted the Danes to flick a bit to the Japanese girls in order to again keep the court big.
Double hit. Yeah.
13-6.
Good read.
Service over. 7-13.
That have been 6 straight points by the Japanese pair. It was very, very important from a Danish perspective to bring that run to an end.
Yeah, and I suspect they'll have to get a little run of quick points somewhere soon in order to stay in this first game. Pedersen and Juhl.
Service over. 14-7.
I have to say that Takahashi has produced some wonderful angles already in this match, hasn't she? That half smash across court, but she's hit a couple of drop shots that have been absolutely stunning as well.
Yeah.
Service over. 8-14.
Great one for nail care is Takahashi. She does all the team's fingernails and paints them beautifully.
Yeah, and there was some contest on Twitter, not under the hashtag Badminton Dubai, but you can follow all the action there. But there was some other pictures on Twitter where you should guess the fingernails, and we saw Takahashi's fingernails there. We saw the hairdo of Christinna Pedersen ahead of the gala dinner that is held here before the tournament. And there was one more question, I can't really remember what that was, but very interesting.
Yeah.
15-8.
She even had time to do them this morning. She must have been up at the crack of dawn. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Aren't they beautiful?
Service over. 9-15.
Good flick serve.
Yes.
Yeah, good anticipation of the return as well. Because she moved to intercept the straight
15.
one.
Yeah.
Naturally, most players move back to intercept the cross court. Look at this movement. Look at it. That's brilliant.
And we have to take into account that these two pairs have met each other 13 times before. That means they have a lot of video material on each other. And
Be ready.
I know the Danes, they use it. Cut specific situations so that you can see all the flick serves from Christinna Pedersen to Ayaka Takahashi from the left service field. You can get them in one clip, so to speak. So that helps you pick up on certain trends.
Yeah.
Danes, they're trying to hang in here in the first game, and they really need to win this rally here. Good quality on the shots.
Yeah, that's good defense too. Yeah. Seemed to run out of patience in the end.
Over.
Kamilla Rytter.
And when the drift is more severe
10.
in another stadium, several stadiums in the Super Series Tour where the drift is quite severe, then it's not so easy to be accurate enough here. So these long rallies, you will eventually play a little bit short or maybe too long. But when you play short, the other pair will go on the attack and have a really good chance of winning that attack. Here, the playing conditions are really good, so you can play with accuracy.
Yeah.
Christinna.
82 shots. Didn't we have one over 100? Rally over 100 earlier in the week? I'm sure we did.
16-10. Play.
I'm reliably informed. Oh,
Service fault
called. Struck above the waist.
Service over. 11-16.
She lifts her left arm a
Service
little
over.
bit.
17,
She's
11.
launching the serve, Matsutomo. Maybe the BWF could stage a course in service judge arm signals ahead of the gala dinner here in,
Yes,
in Dubai, because
18,
the
11.
service judges clearly informs the players what the problem is by the arm signal.
Yes, so you don't need to understand
No.
different languages. It's a clear indication, a clear reason. Oh, that was a nice idea.
Yeah, good deception, but she was on it,
19,
Matsutomo.
11.
Had it come over, she would have been able to return it. There. Oh, I might have to reconsider.
Mm.
Game point, 11.
Whole host of game point opportunities for Matsutomo and Takahashi. Not the best of serves.
Yeah, the Danes letting more or less this game go.
Service
Nice
over.
change of pace, though.
We saw
12,
just before this rally, Christinna Pedersen was turning towards Kenneth Jonas and seemed to be asking for advice. I mean, 2011, we don't start giving advice there because the game is almost over, so
Yeah.
take it in the interval.
It's gone long.
Game.
Opening game to
First game
Misaki,
won by
Matsutomo and
Misaki
Ayaka Takahashi.
Ayaka, 21-12.
21-12 confirms the umpire. A little over 20 minutes for that opening game.
Hvis vi bliver ved med at holde tålmodighed og tro på det, ikke? Altså, fordi der er mange steder, hvor de ikke må spille den hen. Jo længere tid vi holder os i det, jo mere kommer de til at gøre det. Jeg kunne godt tænke mig, at vi, når vi saver selv, at vi går lidt tættere på hinanden, lad dem spille den op over, vi ikke kan, men når de så trækker ind i mellembanen eller rundt om os, så kan vi nå den en lille smule hurtigere, så vi er lidt mere offensive på vores tredje bold.
Ja.
Så vi kan nå den en lille smule hurtigere. Okay? Så,
Hvad gør vi i vores op?
I jeres op, synes jeg heroverfra, at vi lige prøver at slå varieret igen, men med den hurtige afvikling over på den her side. Med det samme, vi hænger på baglinjen, så bliver I nødt til lige nu at spille uden fart, og netspilleren bliver fremme.
Ja. Ja, for Misaki holder helt kort igen.
Ja, defensiven. Den lange med, og så lidt i lige baner lige fra starten af, så vi lige kan få åbnet den kort kryds.
Ja.
For ellers så skal vi gå kort kryds, eller ud første streg på den første, de slår på os. Så skal vi bare sige, at det er det, vi gør.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Thank you, coach.
Well, it was pretty convincing in that opening game for Matsutomo and Takahashi. So was there any radical advice from Kenneth Jonassen?
There were quite a lot of advices, and that
Second
sort of
game.
reflects what you were saying, Jill, that it was quite convincing for Matsutomo and Takahashi. The Danes didn't really get anything going, so a lot of phases of the game needed to be discussed. The first thing was that the Danes needed to be patient and still keep their belief.
Service over.
And
1. Love.
in order to keep the belief, they had to hang in there. They can't afford to let the Japanese pair open up a big gap. So different solutions for offense, defense, and the service situation.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
You can't really try and hit through Matsutomo at the net, can you?
No. One of the ideas was to make the flat
Service
straight
over.
defense.
1.
If they couldn't get the long defense flat straight, because it's difficult for Matsutomo to intercept. It's a good plan, but it's not easy to carry out in reality. But I mean, if it was easy, then everybody would do it. So they feel that if they can get the straight defense
2. 1.
past Matsutomo, then she might start to move a little bit more to that side where the defense is being played past her, and that should open up for the cross short defense. We saw Takahashi and Matsutomo, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I can't remember, but we saw that when Takahashi is attacking from her backhand side,
Play.
Matsutomo isn't really covering the straight smash, the straight defense. Takahashi is coming forward there herself, so there's no opening from the backhand side, in my opinion.
Yeah,
3,
I remember you
1.
talking about that. It was Thursday when they were playing against last year's champions.
Yeah, so
the
the opening in the defense comes mainly when Takahashi is attacking the forehand side, in my opinion. But it was very significant that Christinna Pedersen asked Kenneth Jonassen, what do we do in the offense?
4.
And that means that
1.
they have not really found a way to penetrate the Japanese defense. They have simply been rock solid in their lifts, good shot quality, hitting the back tram lines.
Oh. Low service, short.
Service over.
Yeah.
2. 4.
Yeah, well left. Because when you start committing on the return of serve, it's actually sometimes quite difficult to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant, my goodness me.
3. 4.
Control from the left-hander. Yeah, that's the idea. Keep your racket arm up, then you've got a chance of dealing with that. Look at that. Perfection.
good for the Danes that they closed the gap, because they were about to open up a big lead again, the Japanese pair. But when I see the rallies and ahead of each shot, try to, in my mind, quickly gauge who has the advantage right now in this moment of the rally, I mostly see the Japanese having the upper hand.
This is a good rally.
It's over. 5-4.
There was Pedersen doing what you talked about Takahashi doing, a smash and move forward, but her problem was she smashed cross court and moved forward.
Yeah.
You had been talking about Takahashi playing the straight smash and moving forward.
Yeah, because Matsutomo is covering everything else except for the long cross. So it's very, very clear what each player on the Japanese side has to cover.
Yeah, well played.
6-4.
They're playing extremely well, Takahashi and Matsutomo, controlling everything at the moment, in my opinion.
Christinna.
Well, they've played well all year, haven't they?
Yeah, and
9 finals from 15 tournaments, 6 Super Series finals.
And perhaps that tournament in Japan, sort of where there's a lot of attention, you are the gold medalist. It takes away a little bit of concentration from the tournament. I know the Danes, they say, okay, when we play in Denmark Open, it's nice for a number of things, but there's much, much more fuss going on in between the matches and the days, and you do some promotions, and everybody wants to talk to you. I think they've been solid these 3 days in Dubai, Matsutomo and Takahashi, and there's nothing telling me that they shouldn't be able to win this match here in quite a convincing way.
Yeah.
8-4.
Good response to the flick serve.
Service over. 5-8.
Oh,
shot.
Look at that. What an angle.
Service over. 9-5.
Excellent placement.
Ten, 5.
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah.
Because I think the
Service
Danes
over.
need to score a couple of points more before the interval in order to, like Kenneth Jonassen said, keep belief.
Yeah. And that was nice, because the previous time she'd been flicked, she'd smash straight down the line. That time choosing to play the drop shot, nice variation. That's going wide.
Yeah.
7.
But it's going wide.
10.
And you could say that it was the variation, the drop shot, that sort of tricked Takahashi into making a mistake. Again, it was like, I felt it was one of those that goes down as unforced errors, whilst Christinna Pedersen was smashing 2 or 3 times. She wasn't getting in any better position. And that's worrying for the Danes. Good courage.
It's going wide. So it's a 4-point advantage.
11-7, interval.
Matsutomo and Takahashi at the mid-game interval. 1 game to the good as well.
Så derfor kan jeg godt tænke mig, at på den første, hvis vi er her, lægge den af med en vinkel eller over dem på den allerførste, hvis vi ikke decideret står, at vi kan trykke den her vej nedad. Hvis vi står og trykker den her vej nedad, begge
Trykker vi
to,
fremad. Ja,
op
så er
med
vi klar.
armen,
Ja.
op med armen.
Så er vi klar. Ja.
Ja.
20
Det er så
seconds.
lige dernæsten. Jeg er så tæt på at vinde den.
20
Få
seconds.
en enkelt kort opsamling med på den første.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, coach.
Bare et par bolde, og så er vi med.
Ayaka.
Well, he seemed
Ayaka.
quite impassioned, didn't he, as he was speaking to his players. There's something about be more alert at the net, or
Yeah, in the first
11-7.
mid-court action, played with a little bit of angle, and if you can push, then both of us pushing and coming forward, and then some cheering on, and it's very good because Kenneth has got a really good working relation with the 2 Danish girls, and he needs to push them from
12,
outside now, because
7.
I mean it's so easy to sort of resign and say, okay, it's not our day here. So,
yeah.
so he's got a tough job right now, keeping them engaged.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, oh no! How did she miss that?
Service over.
That's an absolute gift to the Danish pair.
8-12.
Well, she knew exactly where the backhand was coming. Matsutomo, look, she steps forward. She's ready and waiting, and yeah, oh dear. Yeah, so Steen, you made a
Service
comment
over.
earlier.
13.
And ever since you made
8.
it, I've been thinking more and more about it. It was about, I think you said it was Christinna Pedersen who had said to the coach, how do we get through on our attack? And then a moment ago you said something about, you know, he's got to keep encouraging them,
Yeah.
and it's too easy to think it's not our day. I don't think they're
14,
playing badly.
8.
It is
No.
simply that they can't penetrate with their
They
attacking
can't
play.
penetrate, and the Japanese pair, like we've seen all week, they are playing outstanding.
Yes.
And especially the woman serving, that serve, that is a
15,
weak point.
8.
Yeah, Matsutomo.
And the Danes need quick points, so go all out on the short services. If you flicks, we'll just clear back at Takahashi, and they need to take Matsutomo out of the game, because, I mean, she's controlling too much. She's too good
Service
today.
over.
Yeah.
9-15.
And you could say, of course, yes, she's also making a lot of mistakes. Yes, she is, but she's also making a lot of winners or creating a lot of winners. Playing Takahashi, she's not making that many mistakes, so
Yeah.
it might give us a chance to slowly work ourselves into this game.
Service over. 16.
Yeah, you're right, Steen. I mean, Matsutomo there just stepped into this defensive shot, a lovely little block, and look where her movement is. She's threatening the net again.
Here in the serve situation, they can play Matsutomo when she's at the back. That's a possibility, and then to Takahashi. But preferably drop shots.
Yeah, time is running out for the Danes.
17.
Just sense.
10. Change. $18, 10.
Always landed in.
19,
in a very good position,
10.
which emphasizes that the Danes are having trouble in their attack when they're forced to attack from the tram lines.
Change.
If there was a little bit more windy conditions here, it would be difficult for the Japanese pair to have that accuracy that would help the Danes.
Well, they're 2 points away from a
Kamilla.
second final at the Super Series finals. Matsutomo and
Play.
Takahashi. Completely mistimed that.
They're getting
20.
schooled, the Danes.
Match point,
Yeah.
10.
It's been a wonderful performance, I have to say, from Matsutomo and Takahashi. And 10 match point opportunities. Good return of serve.
Service over. 11, 20.
Takahashi is saying surely she moved before I played the serve.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Fault. Game.
Yeah. Second time of asking. And they book their place in the final tomorrow. Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi. 2 straight games against the European champions, Pedersen and Kamilla.
Match won by Matsutomo
21-12,
Misaki
21-11.
and Takahashi Ayaka, 21-12, 21-11.
41 minutes in total. And a second final awaits tomorrow. Well, they really were brilliant today. didn't have the excitement and drama of the Olympic final. They were just simply too good. Performance by the Olympic champions and world #1s, the 2014 winners, safely through to the final once more. In the bottom half of the draw, two pairs who won a maiden Super Series title earlier this year, and both of those pairs in the bottom half of the draw, left and right-handed combinations. Zhang Yenar and Li So-hee, and Chang Qingchen and Jia Yufan. So the next semi-final is men's singles, and it's the left-handed Tian Hao Wei, one of two left-handed players in the men's singles at the start of the week. He's up against the man who finished the year at #1 on the Super Series standings, Jan or Jorgensen, recent winner, of course, of the China Super Series. Then we'll have women's doubles, mixed doubles, and we'll finish with women's singles. There is Jan or Jorgensen, the Dane. He's 3 times been a semi-finalist prior to this, so this will be his 4th semi-final here at the Super Series finals. So he knows all about these pressure situations, how dearly he would love to go further than he's ever been before. This is his 6th appearance at the